So, a human, an elf, and a dwarf walk into a bar.
The human says, "You're lucky you're so short. That hurt like mad."
You could have just stopped me, Blondie.
Why waste a perfectly good setup?
You're no fun, Anders.
I don't know which is worse. The rats or the people?
Hey, Ariane.
The Keeper says I must give my son space. She says he has too much anger for us to be together.
Well, maybe that's the reason why she... Oh, I went there and I didn't even ask her why she wouldn't let you...
Oh, hello.
Back, but maybe that's the reason. There you go.
I've never met a dwarf before.
That's because you've spent too much time frolicking in the woods, Daisy.
Frolicking.
Dwarves don't frolic.
Dalish don't really frolic either. Not in the woods, anyway.
You have sanctioned frolicking areas?
I suppose.
No, just not in the woods. The trees get jealous.
But you do frolic.
Of course we do. We wouldn't be elves otherwise.
Yeah, there is a thing about the elves being extremely, how do you say it? Prolific. I think that's the word, yeah, prolific.
You remind me of Harin Pyvel, Varric. Only younger and shorter, and not as serious.
So, it's a close resemblance then.
Well, he tells stories, and you tell stories. Although none of his begin, "No shit, there I was."
I'll have to give him some better stories then.
Is that statue lady supposed to be someone important? She looks a bit cross.
Yeah, she's supposed to be... She's always cross.
I've always kind of liked this place. It's like a building full of sweet old grandmothers.
Oh. You don't have a voice, Anders.
So pious, aren't they?
Ah, better.
So ready to believe that any harm they do is the will of the Maker.
I don't think they do only harm. Only harm. I'm going to try. You know I'm going to try.
Andraste, guide your steps.
Hey girls. Having fun?
Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there.
I seek any information on suspected apostates.
Not from me.
I've got elves working harder than you.
It'd take 5 Ferildans or 10 elves to do my work. Know it.
Watch out by the Canary compound. They seem very angry.
Yeah, like always now, don't they?
There's a scourge on the waves. Sometimes scarlet, sometimes satin. Know her at your peril.
Yes, good times, wasn't it? Keep walking, Hawke.
Did he say what I think he said?
Lost a load of nugs once. Making a stench of it.
Oh, Lord.
I want these
I thought all dwarves had beards. Where's yours?
I misplaced it, along with my sense of dwarven pride and my gold-plated noble cast pin.
I thought maybe it fell onto your chest.
Oh, the broody elf tells a joke.
I don't brood.
Friend, if your brooding were any more impressive, women would swoon as you passed. They'd have broody babies in your honor.
Good Lord.
You're a very odd dwarf.
And you thought I was joking about the pin.
That's a superpower, Fenris. Immaculate Conception.
Ravani, stop looking at my chest. My eyes are up here.
But the chest hair...
Do you know how much I suffer under your gaze? I am a person, not an object.
Varric?
Just kidding you.
Why? Why?
So, where's your beard, elf?
Elves don't grow beards.
Huh. I thought maybe you shaved it off in a fit of broody pique.
So you're a funny dwarf.
Yeah, I don't believe.
Do you ever feel like the world's getting simpler? Like everything from eating to fighting is a lot less complex than it used to be?
Yes. Good God. He's behind you. Yes, I refuse. I refuse. Okay, maybe they can't grow beards like dwarves, alright, and like humans, but I strongly believe that they have at least stubble. That's impossible. Ugh, don't make me think about that.
So, Elf, that thing you do with your hand.
I can already tell this isn't going anywhere pleasant.
Oh, yes.
I bet that makes pickpocketing easier.
I'll try it sometime and find out.
Well, that was better than Isabella's. You have to admit it. I think we're done.
Is brooding a sport in Tevinter? Do they hold competitions? Hand out trophies for the best scowls?
I'm not brooding.
Moping, then. You seem like you're a champion at it.
I'm perfectly content at the moment.
Oh, so that's you smiling. Glad you clarified that. I'd never have known.
I keep thinking I know you from somewhere.
You're Ferelden, right? Ever spend time at the Pearl?
That's it. You used to really like that girl with the griffin tattoos, right? What was her name?
The Ley Warden?
That's right. I think you were there the night I...
Oh! Were you the runaway mage who could do that electricity thing? That was nice.
Please, stop talking. Now.
Why? I want you to continue. Please continue.
Sometimes I think you have the right idea.
Handcuffs, whipped cream, always be on top.
I never used to give two bits what anyone thought of me. Justice once asked me why I didn't do more for other mages. I told him it was too much work, but I couldn't go back after that. Couldn't stop thinking about it. Sometimes I miss being that selfish.
Huh? Were you talking? I was still at whipped cream.
Yeah, I imagine she was not listening to you, man. She's not that...
This one time, I was sailing to Lothering, and there was a fight between two of my men. It was over a dice game, or the last piece of toast or something. Sailors, they're touchy about their toast.
Is this going anywhere?
It will if you let me finish. So, there's a knife fight, and Jim ends up with a broken-off blade stuck in his shoulder. It's very deep in there, and we're out at sea at least a week from the nearest port. If you were there, you could have reached in and plucked that blade right from his flesh.
That's your whole point?
Pretty much.
I don't think it would work like that. I think... yeah, I don't think it would work like that. Hey, Bran lookalike.
We should move on.
And then Isabella went to the chantry and saw that it was boring. Canticle of Isabella, stanza 1, verse 1.
Amazing. You should write more.
So this relic you mentioned losing...
You have pretty eyes.
I have pretty eyes.
You elves have such pretty eyes. Even the men. It makes me want to pluck them out and wear them as a necklace.
I wouldn't suggest trying.
Oh, I would never try. Not without reason, of course.
Forget I said anything.
She didn't answer your question, Ferris. Right? Good evening.
His mood's definitely improved, but he's too frisky to be cooped up in this shack all day. We need more space.
I'm sure Uncle Gamlen would like nothing more than to be rid of us.
I suppose I could take him for a stroll. What an odd sight we'll make. A mother and her Mabari.
Why? There's nothing wrong with it. Actually, he could keep you safe. Why do they keep calling him he? It's a girl. Or maybe it's actually a default male and I missed on that. I don't know. But we had a quest here, right? Okay, so it's about the wardens. I understand that you are to thank for the return of the Lost Grey Warden letters. This deed did not go unnoticed. Please accept the enclosed reward and the warden's blessings. Your discretion about this affair is appreciated. Fine. 2 sovereigns, that's not bad.
Your mother's busy writing to the Viscount. If you want more time...
I hope Mother convinces the Viscount to give us the estate.
I will talk to the Viscount about our estate.
Today we are going to finish. I don't know, can I call it finish? We're going somewhere, so I needed a safety blanket. And who's coming to the Kunari with us? I never choose Fenris for anything. Well, maybe Bethany could come, but maybe Varric could come. Why not? I don't suppose anybody else would be interested in this, right? Okay then.
I understand you're named after a famous knight.
Everyone always brings up the name.
I've not heard of Sir Aveline. Is she very famous?
Really? They don't tell of her glorious downfall into Winter?
Not to slaves.
Pardon me for saying so, but thank the Maker for that.
What are you talking about? What downfall? I remember Liliana's story, but it was not about a downfall. I mean, is it the same? That she was raised by the Dalish, this Aveline? I don't remember why, and then she wanted...
Have faith, and the Maker will return.
She wanted to go to a tournament because she was extremely good. But then women weren't allowed in the tournament, so even if she won...
The Qunari are spying on us.
Well, I bet. She was killed because they discovered... She disguised herself, went to the tournament, she won, and then they killed her because they discovered her. So how is that a downfall? I don't understand. Because she was stupid? Because she went somewhere she shouldn't have? Maybe? But I don't know, did the Dragon Age 2 revise that story?
As fast as I can, don't you worry.
Or something? Oh god, we're doing this, right? Hey.
Let me pass. I have business with the dwarf Javaris and your Arishok.
The short mouth, yes.
Huh?
Enter if you must, Basra.
What does that mean? God, I don't want to be here. Oh, by the way, now we're meeting the Arishok. I do not have enough... How do you say? Enough arguments against this. I don't think it was a good choice to have the Arishok here in this game. I think it would have made sense of having a high-ranking officer or whatever of the Arishok. But the Arishok himself here, stranded, leaving the rest of the Kun just there by themselves. Alright, they're very organized, but still. I mean, by the end of the game, by middle end of the game, we'll see what happens, but it doesn't make sense for the Arishok to be here. None whatsoever. I refuse to think that the Arishok, the most important figure in Kunari land, would stay stranded here just for that. But let's not talk about it, shall we? Valid.
Bartran likes to make me deal with the harbor master. That man always smells like cod liver oil.
I know, right?
Hawke?
I'm not even going to click on Aveline because she will probably be talking about the deep roads.
Ah, my right hand arrives.
What?
Summon your Arishok. The bargain is done. About time you showed. I've been here for hours.
Maybe months. Days. Not certainly hours.
Arishokost, Maras Shokra, Anan Isamkun.
Lacune from an elf? The madness of this place.
Yeah, actually,
Friend of yours?
Friend of no one.
Yes, well, that said, I'm here to report that your hated Talvishoth were felled, one and all, right? Yes, they were. So, I'm ready to open negotiations for the explosive powder, as we agreed.
No.
He's not getting it. Make your chatty elf say something.
why am I not surprised?
Any insight that would help?
Kunari do not abandon a debt. I humbly request clarification from the Arishok.
I have a growing lack of disgust for you. The dwarf imagined the deal for the Gatlock. He invented a task to prove his worth when he has none.
Then we have wrongly inserted ourselves in your affairs.
Indeed.
Would you have us kill this dwarf?
Oh.
Wait, what now?
If you face Talvishoth, he is not worthy of dying to you, as he was not worthy of dying to them. But you keep good company. Let him live, and leave.
Well, he still owes me, I think.
I did his dirty work. That debt stands.
Does it, dwarf?
You said yourself there was no bargain. I'm not getting a sodding thing out of this.
Uh-oh, awkward.
This human did what you could not, something I did not expect of any outsider, and you have involved me. If you made a bargain for the Talvishoth, that debt for their lives will be honored.
Sod it all, take your coin, take whatever. Hornhead oxmen and mongrel donglords, suck your own powder and blow your head off, sod it.
You will leave as well, human. There's no more coin for you here.
Oh, well, thanks. Actually...
I dislike this place, but that dwarf, especially so.
Excuse me.
Why do you bother me, human? The dwarf paid you. There is no more. Your kind thinks selfishness and want are normal. This city, all of it, leaves a bad taste.
You don't want to talk? We won't talk.
Hold. Since we arrived, I have seen nothing but greed and weakness. Dwarves, humans, elves, just festering. No order, no goal. You are one of the few I have met with any ability. And yet this too was random, a result of selfishness. I cannot fathom how a mire like this can be justified. You turned from me. Do you turn as easily from all this chaos?
I take no blame for this city. I'm new here too.
And it disgusts you as well?
Some of it, but would it be so different anywhere else?
Uh-oh. Yes, it would.
Karistan are soldiers. The Qun made it so. They can never vary from that assigned path, never be other than they are meant to be. But they are free to choose within that role, to accept and succeed, or deny and die. Glory is clear and defined. You claim it is no different anywhere else. We deny that, with a certainty that would benefit not just you, but this whole city.
Have you come here to proselytize? To convert?
No. Foundering here was unexpected. I have purpose other than watching you rot. But this city... How long must I let you harm yourselves? I suspect we are done, human.
I don't think Kirkwall would do well under military rule.
The rule of the Qun is not military. It is discipline and order.
How is that different?
It is.
To your limited understanding, it is not. You fear soldiers that arrive to remove your pitiable vices. But they do not control Qunari. The Triumvirate divides and governs. One is nothing without the others.
I actually understand. Martin doesn't. I actually understand the Qun pretty well. It's not exactly military. It looks military because it's very military, because it's very orderly, but it's based on acceptance of your role. It's a whole different philosophy, which I suppose Martin would never understand, nor want to, really, because it's not his kind of thing.
Can you tell me about the other two parts?
No.
Now you're just being difficult.
I am no more equipped to explain than you are to understand. Arishok, Arigena, Arikyun, pillars of the Qunari, of the nation that must be. There is but one way to know these things, human, and I have yet to decide if it must be done.
Yeah, that's not reassuring at all, but more importantly...
You're a long way from home. Why did you come?
To meet a demand of the Qun.
Which was?
It is a matter only the Qunari understand. We remain until we fulfill the demand of the Qun. Or until the demand changes.
How many Qunari have you lost to the Tal-Vashoth?
None.
Optimistic, considering my death toll.
We lose nothing when weakness abandons the Qun. It is the Tal-Vashoth who have lost themselves.
Fair.
I met an honorable one.
Doubtful.
He said he was a mercenary, not a murderer.
Then I know he made no claim to honor. When they sell themselves, little remains. He is not even dead to the Qun. He is a living insult.
You guard your powder carefully.
It is a tool that can only be allowed to exist under the ordered authority of the Qun.
It could benefit many people.
It does now. Just as swords benefit warriors, but are not given to children. Well, your children.
Yeah, this is pretty easy to understand. Why would you give away something that could be a dangerous weapon that somebody, namely the person you give it to, could use against yourself? It's very simple why they don't sell the Gatlock. They're not idiots. And they don't understand the profit, which is actually, from my point of view, great.
Farewell.
Panahedan, human.
And so, Martin had a little moment of daringness that now regrets, and he wants to be out of here quickly. He has these kind of moments, but don't be fooled. He does not have actually a high self-esteem, quite the contrary, sadly. Well, that was interesting, right? Yeah, what Martin just did, again, the game does not do a very good job
Backbone of the city, and all we get is shit from Hightown.
of presenting to you the Kunari. Okay. We can't. We need to find a spot to talk. The game doesn't do a good job in presenting to you the Kunari problem and what's going on underneath. Now we are going to do a couple of quests that will be telling. Still, unfortunately this game does a very bad thing, which is tell, don't show. It's more effective. It's a writing rule for movies, and so I suspect for games as well. I'm not sure, I'm not an expert, but it should be show and don't tell. This game does a lot of telling for reasons. Probably they didn't have time to do cutscenes or something. I don't know. But the Kunari are a problem. They have been stranded here for a long time, and people are afraid that they are gonna do something, because everybody knows what the Kunari do. They convert. They forcibly convert people to their system. So why would they be here? And the moment of courage from Martin was actually more of a "what are you doing here" kind of thing. He communicated with the Arishok, and then he tried to understand why they are not leaving. And he didn't do this for the interest of the community. He did this because he was right there at the moment. Something about Martin's courage, or I don't know how to call it, daringness, or the way he acts, is that he's absolutely disinterested in everything until he's in the situation, until he's thrown in the situation where it happens that his courage rises with every attempt at intimidation, which is, he's not the kind of person that goes into that creates problems for himself, but if he's thrown inside a problem, he will actually solve them, and pretty well, sometimes in very creative ways. He can come up with the solutions that Aveline, for example, wouldn't even dream of. In fact, she is envious of him, and she will, even in the future, nag him and try and push him to be more proactive and involved, because he's clever and resourceful, certainly more than her, and she feels like he's wasted. He doesn't always come to a solution that she likes. Nonetheless, he comes to agreeable compromises that most of the time she wishes she had thought about. She definitely sees his qualities, and she feels like he undervalues himself. I don't think undervalues himself is the right word, but she really feels like he could do so many things and be so brilliant. And this is actually very funny, because as I've said to you now, Martin has low self-esteem, and he's an underdog, and he was always the last, has always been the last in his life. He survives. But Aveline as well has very little self-esteem, and Hawke actually looks up to her. Martin looks up to her and he thinks she's, the perfect person. Even when he doesn't agree with her, she's determined. She went and found a job, and she's now climbing up the ladder, and all by herself. He admires her, so they admire each other for the qualities that the other one have, which is actually pretty nice if you want to have a relationship between two characters and want to put this kind of relationships. But tonight, guys, we have Varric that has heard about something going on in Lowtown. There's a woman going around searching for hirelings, apparently. So, let's see what's that about. But first, we're going to go drink. because I need a drink after that. What do you think, guys? I'm not even going to ask. I was thinking, why not? Let's also finish the other quest that we need to finish. So, do you remember the first mission we had with Aveline? And we actually got rid of some bandits. And it's even better that we've left this quest for the end.
Not much room in the barracks, but there's nowhere I'd rather be.
Yep. Yeah. Alright. I get that. Nobody wants to stay in Gamlen's shack. And this is a fetch quest, but I was saying, we took care of those bandits because apparently the guards are, as Aveline told us, a little bit not lazy. What would you say when there seems to be a lot of problems, but the people who should solve them are doing nothing? That's the situation that's happening to the guard. So Aveline decided to hire us, whoever, and we got rid of the bandits. Also, it is a good thing that we have dragged this quest until this point, because we have been inside many other instances in which the guards were not doing their job. Maybe one occasion could have been the Magister case, the magistrate case. That was certainly one, and then several other instances. So let's go get some money then.
There's Jevon's office. Wait while I explain our initiative.
Our various initiatives?
I don't know how they do it where you're from, guardswoman, but I decide the patrols, not you and your whims. You may have been put up for lieutenant in your first year, but I'll have no show-offs in my command. Have I made myself clear?
Uh-oh.
Report to your post before I have you and your Ferelden accomplice jailed.
Well, what a charming fellow.
I don't have to like him, but he could at least listen. Bandits are dead. That's all that should matter. It's not the first time he's made me wonder like this. Something is very wrong.
So let's find out whose toes you actually stepped on.
Then we should check the duty roster and see who was supposed to take that route. What have I stepped in this time? Threaten my friends. Not letting that one go, Captain.
You mean here?
Aveline! I owe you for clearing that ambush the other night. Saved me a mess of trouble.
Brennan, that route was yours?
It was. Single patrol. I'd have been dead for sure.
I mean, how many ambushes have we cleared? It could have been anywhere. Oh my god. This actually works decently.
A lone guard isn't much of a patrol.
Shouldn't need to be. That route was clear for weeks.
Well,
First noise out of it was your big fight. The captain reassigned me after he heard what you did, and I passed the satchel to Donnick for his patrol tonight.
The satchel?
Pay and order assignments. Captain has us run deliveries to the outposts during light duty. It's usually just an updated copy of the roster. The satchel for that night was heavy, though. Anyway, thanks again, Aveline. You're a good one.
So the satchel gets heavy the same day we discover an ambush?
You're sure you want to pursue this? This is your superior we're talking about.
If a guard has been put at risk, a good captain would want to know why. And if he's not a good captain, I want to know why.
A messy way to pass information, and Brennan already sent it along.
Another guard is walking into the same trap. I can't let that happen. Brennan said Donnick. A good man. Donnick. I've got his route. A night walk in Lowtown. Let's go make sure his quiet patrol stays that way.
Oh well, sounds like we're going to have another busy night. Varric, are you going to come with us? I don't think so, because he has things to do tonight. With Bartrand, because guys...
must be terribly busy.
We are very close to going to this expedition, finally. So, could go now to the Hanged Man.